It's been a really busy week, but I am back on another Wednesday to just go over what I've been working on since last Wednesday. Made quite a bit of progress, but I also ran into some issues in terms of getting the domain name transferred over to the new website host. So earlier this afternoon, we finally figured out a solution on that. So I'm really happy about that. And so now my focus is going to shift over to adding all the work to Shopify. So let me show you guys what I've been working on here. Okay, let me switch this window. All right. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Now, this is the old web host that the main domain is not connected to anymore, but all of my work is here. And so I have to copy all of the information over in terms of the name, description, keywords, everything has to be copied over. And so obviously that's going to take me quite a bit of time. And even more so because when I come to the new site, I can't bulk upload everything to certain tiers. I can only add them individually. And so what I'm going to do is come over to the photo lab, upload all the work here, and then I'm going to have to add on all the products to the gallery. Now, this is the new one. This is the old site, which you scroll down, and like I showed you guys last week, it's not really great in terms of the presentation. But there are certain things that I'm going to take away from this site that I'm going to bring to the new one. So now I'm back on Shopify. Let me reload this. All right, so that's how it opens. And you scroll down, and there's just a lot more that I can do with it on the home page. So all the information here, I'm just making sure it's correct and updated as much as possible. All right, so when you go to the gallery page, from the old site here to the new site here, the basic idea is the same. Presentation's a little bit different, but I basically try to copy the Shopify design over here, and then you come to showcase. Here's how everything looks. That's the old site. Now we go to the new one. So again, information on the top is pretty much the same. It's just the presentation is a lot better. It looks more professional. I'm actually going to take the signature and redo it. So it looks a little bit better than it does right now. But the only thing is, you scroll down and there's not too much in here. So I have quite a bit to add to this page by itself. The biggest issue is old site. You come here, the new site, there's that feature on it. So I got the interior with the artwork on it, and then there's a enlarged preview of the artwork itself. So it does that over everything. And then there's a price at the bottom with the title. This one's a little bit more basic in terms of presentation. You click on it, well, you hover over it, and then there's the cart, and then you can add it to the light box here. And this is the part where it kind of, like I said last week, it's not as good as in presentation. This one is better. So the new site has, of course, the title, the prices on the outside, like all this information here is just, it's presented a lot better. And then the sizes, everything is right here on the page with it. The different products that I'm adding, they're all here. There's a couple of different ways that this can be presented, but this is how the layout is right now. And then obviously you have the add to cart, and then I'm doing something new for Shopify that I'm bringing from over on the old site. Now, of course, you don't have all the information on the old site. That's right there. You would have to go up here, click product selection, and then it would have a preview of all the products. And then you have a small description, things like that. So I'm going to add a little bit of that onto the new site, but I'm redoing how it's presented. So that's where you have all of these extra pictures. And let me just go ahead and enlarge them. So it's just basically an introduction into all the different product types that you have, and just giving, potential customers a better idea of what the product is and how they differentiate between each other, because the Fuji Crystal is definitely different from the Fuji High Gloss. There's a little bit of similarities, but they're especially with the glossiness of it, it's really different. So just a preview of everything, and that's what I've been working on since over the weekend, this past weekend. So definitely taking away from the old site. Like, for example, I think my favorite product was this one, where it gives you some examples of the product, and then you would have all of the sizes, product sizes, and then this would be your preview window. So it's I like the information here that's available. I just think that it has to be presented better. So of course I have on the new site the artwork with the interior, the sizes, and then I have an example of the actual product. But I try to take as much information as possible and put it in, present it in a way where it was more attractive and easier to look at everything and tell, okay, if I want the matte acrylic photo, this is the dimensions, as far as the thickness of it. This is the back of it, depending on the size that you get. So I think it's really good information to have. Now, the other thing is, I found out that there are limits to how many products I can have or how many variations I can have. So on Shopify, you're going to cap out at 100. Once you get to 100 different variations of the same product, it's not going to allow you to add anything more than that. And I don't think that's really a Shopify thing. I think that's the lab. So if you're integrating the WhiteWall app into Shopify, that's what you'll run into. Is you can only have 100 variations of one particular artwork. So yeah, this is again solid wood frame. The only choice here is going to be white, and then bright white. This is what the back of it looks like, even though that's the wrong color. The frame's going to be white, so I'm going to see if I can switch that out to a white frame, because it's going to be white all the way around, except for those two pins there on the back. So on the previous website, you would have, let me see if I can go to a better product. So for example, if I went to the solid wood frame option, it's right here. So there's the previews, but down here you can change the option yourself. So there's the natural wood, there's black oak, there's the white maple. So you can do all that yourself. In Shopify, there are no options. Like a potential client can't come into the website and say, well, instead of a white frame, I want something that's black, or I want something that's oak, or you want to change the color of the matting. There is no function within the WhiteWall app that you can change the product options. And so what I did is just pick what I like, I think what I will lean towards is, if someone wants a different option, they would have to just contact me directly for it. But if you just want to come to the website, order something, this is what's going to be available. So again, solid wood frame again, but this is a different paper. And I do like on this one that I was able to combine the art glass, which is the museum glass. It's the best quality, non-reflective, so you don't get that glare on the glass. So it's really, really good. And on the old site, I don't think that option was available to change the glass quality. So there's that. So that's the type of information that that I'm adding on here. And there's just a lot. The shadow box, which I didn't have available before, is going to be included now. Just the type of frame that it is, and how it presents your work like it's floating. I really do like that part for this particular product. And then we do now have canvas. I finally added canvas. It is the glossy canvas instead of the matte canvas. But the back of it, I don't believe is going to have these brackets, the silver brackets. But I haven't found an image without one on there. So I'm probably going to switch that out eventually to have the rear frame showing without the brackets on there. And then we also have the aluminum art box. For this particular paper is the Fuji Crystal Archive. So there's a sample of it, how the light hits it right there. This is the rear, the back of it, and another small picture just to show how the light's going to hit it. So again, I just think, and the frame is going to be white. This one comes in like 4 different colors. So the white is only going to be available online. What I'm going to do is contact WhiteWall and see if they can integrate the customization of the products into the app, which they are probably already working on right now, but I'm going to suggest that. So what I'm doing right now is creating some product pages and then I'm gonna show them what I'm doing with their app right now, and just giving pointers on how the app can be improved, right? Because they've made some improvements already, which kind of fix some of the problems that I suggested they fix before. So they've done some of that. So now that we're this far into the process, I'm really going to go back to them and say, okay, this is a couple of other things that you can do to improve the app. And then this is new. This is the textile canvas, which I have not really seen a lot of people use before, but I like the material of the sample. So that's the last one that's available. But again, you just continue to scroll down and they're all there, just to give you a preview of what's going on. So yeah, all of that's here. Down to the textile, you click on that. It shows you the prices. You can change the size, and then the price changes accordingly. So all that is working now. And like I said, I have the domain finally fixed. For some reason, when I bought the domain from the old site to the new one, they linked it to someone else's account. I don't know who. They never, like, the support staff for Shopify never told me where my domain went, but somebody else ended up having it linked to their store. And so when I tried to open or use my domain, it was just a blank screen. It wouldn't do anything. So it was frozen for about since the 15th, May 15th, and now it's the 21st. So yeah, that was frustrating. I tried to work with the AI software from Shopify to troubleshoot the problem, but it was just too complicated. So I finally got with one of the actual human person support, and between last night and then the person I worked with this morning, she was really helpful with figuring out. She had to contact the billing department, figure out who actually had my account. Then they had to verify my account to make sure I'm the owner of the domain. It was just a whole thing. But like I said, we got through that part of it. So now the site's working like it's supposed to. Well, the URL is working like it's supposed to. The next thing I'm going to do is, obviously, all these pages are empty. So I tested out how long it's going to take me to complete one image in terms of adding all the products to it. It takes a while because I have to do this one image at a time, and I'm adding more products than I had before. New products too. So for the color images, there's going to be 12. And I think for black and white, there's probably going to be 14, which is about the same as what I had before on the old site. But like I said, I can't bulk upload them. At least I haven't seen an option for it, but I'm going to look for it to see if I can do that. But that's the only thing. So what I'm going to do this evening is add a whole bunch more to Shopify's, well, not Shopify server, but WhiteWall server, and then give at least one product to each image. Give at least one product available to each image. And then I'm going to have to go back through once everything is uploaded. I'm going to have to go through and add the other 12 to 13 products on there. But give each one at least one product so that I can get all the work onto the new site. Because right now, like I said, everything's empty. So the longer things stay empty, the longer it's going to take for Google and Bing and all the search engines to realize that the website is active. So in order for me to drive traffic, I'm going to have to add a lot more work on here. And like I said, I had quite a few images. Let me see if I can figure this out. No. So you would go here. Oh, this is also what I'm missing. The keywords on the old site, they're on the outside. Like I can actually see them on Shopify. I can't see them on the product page. And a lot of people who have visited the old site, this is what they use to navigate everything. Nature photography, or they'll just go something generic, art for sale, flower photography. They'll go through all of these, and I can see that in my analytics. Like this has been used a lot. So I'm gonna have to contact Shopify's shop team to help me either learn how to get the keywords or the tags to show myself, or pay someone on their team to do it for me if it's too complicated. But I need to bring the keywords to each product page. So that's what I have to do for that. So this is a generic one. There's 234 images. So that's why I said I'm just going to have to take the next few days and upload everything to the WhiteWall server. Just upload everything. And then from there, at least everyone will be able to see the work up. And then slowly but surely, I'm going to have to add the products onto them. But if I try to upload and add products one at a time, it's just going to take me too long to finish this. But yeah, it's a lot of work. And then the crazy part is that this is not all of the work that I have to upload. I still have new stuff in terms of projects photographs I forgot to add. It's a lot. It's a lot of work. And then I guess new projects for 2025. I will start on those in a few months probably. I'm thinking around July, August. But I definitely have to get all of this work uploaded to the WhiteWall server, and then I have to come to Shopify and start creating the products. There's one more thing I want to show you guys with the product creation, because if you're using the WhiteWall app in Shopify, the app, when you create a product, it's going to create mock images, like a lot of mock images. So that's the other problem I ran into last night, is that for one image, the WhiteWall app will create about 87 to 100 mock images. So if I'm putting over 200 photographs onto the site, I really don't want to have 87 to 100 mock images for each photograph. That's just too much. So what I'm going to do, or what I've been doing, is managing my background files. I'm going to pull up my account so that you guys can see what I'm talking about. Because if I don't manage the files, it's going to turn into, the mock files is going to turn into a huge problem. Okay, here we go. All right. So even when you come to, let's just say, which one of these are done? This one. You come to this one when you create one product through the WhiteWall app. For this particular product, I had 87 files. So you're just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. It was 87 files. And that kept happening over and over and over and over and over again. Like for all of these, for each one, it created, like for masonry, it created 100 files or images. So you don't want the customer to come here and scroll for that long, right? Because I've already got enough images on here. I think at this point I've got like 14 that you have to scroll through, and that's as far as I want to go. I just want to take the last, like here's the two main ones. You have the interior file, and then you have just the image, the photograph by itself. After that, I want to take the next 12 to 14 images, like the product descriptions, just take those 12 to 14 and use them over and over again, and not like create new files for each photograph, right? So that'll cut down on me having a bunch of files on the back end. So I'm going to show you guys what happens in the background. This is your homepage, like for the creator. You go to content over here, and then there's files under that. And this is where all of your files are kept for your store, your Shopify store. And these are the files that are created by the WhiteWall app. So for every size, and every product has multiple sizes, the WhiteWall app is going to create a mock-up that looks like this. So this particular one, it looks like a frame, like the floater frame. You're going to get one that's really small, and then the picture is going to get a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger, and it's just going to keep creating all of these files. Like, it's crazy. So ultimately, when you come to the file section and you want to look for something, how are you going to find it? It's just too many files. So if I have like 250 photographs, I'm going to have thousands and thousands of files of these mock-ups like this, which is too much. So I'm going to come in here, and I have been coming through here and deleting all of these. Basically, you just come up here to the top. Let me go to the next page because it just gets worse. You go to the next page, there's even more files. And it just keeps going. So you come over here, up at the top, you click this button. That's going to select 50 because it's 50 files per page. And it's just all mock-up images. And then I come over here on this side, just click delete files, and they're gone. Now, if the file is linked to something, when you scroll over here, it'll show you that this file is being used for one of your products. So when you go to that that web page, this file is being used for a particular product. So this is for masonry. So if you click on that, it'll take you to where it's being used. So that'll let you know where everything is going. Okay. If you scroll down under reference and you don't see anything, that means that you can delete the product or delete the image and it won't affect one of your products. Now, the exception would be if you post images on your blog. Like, let me pull up the blog space. This is when it gets tricky. I'm going to be using the blog again, and the images that you use on your blog are also on the server, but it's not connected to a product. So when you come to the files page, you'll see the images that you use for your blog, but it's not connected to a product. So I've written so many blogs. In some cases, I don't know if the image is being used. But at this point moving forward, I'm gonna keep better track of that. But right now, I don't know. Like for the old blogs that I've written in the past, they go way, way, way back. Like this is page 5. These are older files. Like I don't know. And I could have accidentally deleted images that were supposed to be there. So here's one that's still up. So again, this is from April 18, 2019. So 2019, I mean, it's easy to forget what's connected. So yes, for the blogs, try to keep track of what images you're using for what. I think another thing you can do is like name your images. If you're going to use an image for a blog, put a date on it, put the blog title on it, so that you have some semblance of a reference point when you look at it on the server. Put like a name, title, something on there so that you know, don't delete this, right? And you know what you're using it for. So yeah, definitely do that. And then the other thing I want to show on the back end part of it is this is where you upload everything. You come down here to products. Once you click on the WhiteWall app, let me move my camera out the way. Hold on. There it is. So there's the WhiteWall app over here behind the camera view. You got introduction, preferences, which I haven't looked into yet. This is just to make sure that your Shopify Store is connected to WhiteWall correctly. So that's what that is. You got vouchers, which I'm assuming is like your discount codes. Then there's your support, which just use the email, I would say. And then here's your products, or in this case, this is where my products are. So this is everything. I finished this one off yesterday, and it's just a listing of here's the image title, and then a list of all the products there. And so like I said, it's limited to how many variations you can create. So each of these has, gosh, I don't know, 7 or 8 different variations to it. So yeah, it's not unlimited to how much you can have a product, various sizes, and then once you get to 100 different variations, it's gonna tell you like you're hitting your limit, so you're gonna have to delete something. So especially for the black and white photographs. I took away some things or replaced them. Like I took away the Fuji crystal print and I replaced it with the Ilford black and white paper because I figured it's a black and white print. It'll be better to use the Ilford black and white paper for that. So I did that kind of across the board. And I did leave the German paper in there, the Hanamule, because it's very good Gliese paper. And that's the only Gliese paper type I have an option for. So I wanted to leave that in there. But this is where they all are. Now these down here, like they only have 3 products for this one. I will have to come back and add the rest of these products eventually. But like I said, what I'm going to do is add a whole bunch of products, a bunch of photographs, and then I will add at least 1 product per photograph. So like I said, I'll probably start with the Fuji crystal. Make sure everything is uploaded in terms of the photographs being uploaded. Like I said, it's 234 right now? Yeah, 234. And then I'm going to have to go back and add the rest of these product options to it. But at least get the name, the title, the description, the year, open edition, that type of thing. There's a lot of information down here in terms of here's all the sizes, the products, which you can rearrange. These are the variants. And then what's new is the meta fields, which I'm not even going to get into that right now. And then the product meta fields, which I don't know. I don't know what that does. So I got to do a little digging on that to figure out what's going on there. But that's what that is. Now, if your product is linked to a different store, you're collaborating with a different brand, that's where this is going to come in. So you press manage and this is everything. So all of this is social media, but I am partnered with Westcover. So it just depends. Like you can click the checkbox for that if it's going to be over there. But yeah, all the social media, especially for Pinterest, I'm going to have to start from scratch with that because all the links are going to be wrong at this point because everything was connected to the old site. Like all these are connected to my Pinterest account, the business Pinterest account. So all of these links are not going to work eventually. I'm going to close the old store and have everything run through Shopify. With that part, I might be able to do that through the Pinterest app connected, which is over here under sales channels. So here's Pinterest, and I'm going to have to make sure I connect it correctly. Yeah, I've got to connect it correctly. So here's the thing. Pinterest, I'm going to have to erase everything. Yeah, I'm going to have to erase everything. And then come back here, fix the connection and the setup, all these, whatever is going on here. And then what will end up happening is Pinterest will then read what you have on Shopify and pull all of that over to Pinterest automatically. So I don't have to upload all the work automatically. It's just you have to make sure that everything's connected, because here's the shopping tab. So yeah, the catalog is not connected. So once everything is connected properly, it'll automatically publish all the pins. It'll not only publish all the pins, it'll publish them in different sizes. Like it'll publish the individual sizes. So you'll have literally like thousands of pins for your Pinterest platform. And then I would say, let me see. TikTok, I'm having the same issue, connection. What else is there? There is a store on here, but it doesn't show on the desktop version. But when you go to the mobile version of Instagram, you'll see your Instagram shop once you connect it. And I have that. Instagram and Facebook, you have to have those together, obviously, because they're both under Meta. But you go through verification, all that different type of stuff. So what I'm going to have to do is register the official domain name or domain URL, and then connect everything through here. And then Meta as well will generate your shop by itself. Like it'll just generate on its own. You just have to make sure your accounts are connected correctly. TikTok is a headache because half of it I don't understand what's going on. I can't connect to my account at all. So I'm gonna worry about that later. It'll probably be the last one that I'm gonna fix. And then Westcover, they are back now. I probably shared with you guys before that they closed for financial reasons, and then I believe they got a partnership with another art company. And so they came back, I think summer of last year. But I wasn't with Shopify anymore, and my prints from the old site couldn't connect automatically like they did with Shopify. So I let that website just have a few products, and I really didn't do anything special with it. But now that I'm back on Shopify and I reconnected with Westcover through them, I can go to my Westcover store and everything is starting to connect automatically again. You do have to go back into your profile, your settings, come to each listing and just point it to the right product, because it gets thrown off. So once you point it to the right product, you add in your title, your description, and that's it. Just add it to your title, description, and choose what category within Westcover you want your work to be a part of. So for me, it's under art and then photography as a subheading. So that's it. So once you put the title, description, your category, which for me, like I said, let me zoom in, you'll see it up here, art and then photography. Once you put that in, you point it to Shopify, the right product on Shopify, and then this will update automatically. There is a delay. I think it's somewhere between 12 to 24 hours. But once it connects, then I started adding all these description files on here. I didn't have to come back to Westcover and update anything. It just picked it up on its own, which is great. Now, the other thing is if you change your image details, then it's not going to pick that up. You have to come to the product and change your image details manually if you do change something here. So I would say on Shopify, make sure all this information is exactly the way you want it. So when you change something, one of the images or whatever, you don't have to come back and do anything to this part of it. But yeah, it's working fine. And I'm gonna have to come back in here for the black and white photography and change some of these images out. But on the Shopify side, and then it'll update over here on the West cover automatically. So that's good. When you go to select configuration, there's all the products that are there. And again, I didn't have to do anything manually. It just automatically picked it up when you sync it to Shopify. So that's a relief. The other thing is I'm doing some price changes because some of these pieces are a little bit older and we are in 2025. So some of these are going to be changed in terms of pricing. Right now, everything's on inquiry, right? So if you click on something, the only thing you can do is inquire for pricing, right? So if the pricing has dropped, which quite a few of these are, the pricing is dropping, I can relay that to the potential client. But from the old site, I just had like basically 3 images here. And that's it. And it wasn't in sync to the old website I was using. Yeah, but other than that, everything looks good. Yeah, like this one is dated. It's not going to be here anymore. Yeah, so some of these are not going to be here, and then I'm going to add new stuff to West cover. So there's that. But everything that has this little yellow icon, these are the images that are ready to go. So the prices are already here. Everything looks good. So I'm really excited about that part. It just makes it easier for me to add more work to West cover, for sure. And then there's quantity goes on forever. So there's that. And if you end up submitting your work to West cover, keep in mind that they do take commission off of it. So when you're pricing your work, you have to make sure that once they take their commission out, that you can still cover the print cost, shipping, well, not shipping really, but the print cost. Yeah. You have to make sure you can cover all of that and pay yourself. So there's that. But everything looks good. I think the main inquiries that I would have through here was people would ask about, not only ask about pricing, but ask about the exact product that they're getting. So again, it goes back to, I want to have some sort of mock examples, at least, of what each product looks like. So not only for the main website, but for whoever you're collaborating with, it's good to have as much information as possible without overdoing it. Yeah, so I'm happy with this. So they can enlarge the image, they can read like what type of glass you get, the texture of the paper, the matting is going to be bright pearl, the thickness of that, and then what the hangers look like on the back. So I think it's the presentation's a lot better. Now, once they add all the options for each product to the WhiteWall app, I can tweak these a little bit to say, okay, you can get 4 different types of frames, you can get 10 different types of mats, all that type stuff. So that information will be, available. So I have to come back and do that. What else is there? Let me get rid of this one. And I guess the last thing I'll touch on is, because we're almost at the hour point, is the analytics compared to the previous site. It's more difficult for me to figure out what's going on because it's just a lot more information. Like, it's a lot more information. It gets like really in depth, and there's numbers that I don't know what they're for. So the past few days I've been looking at that as well, because it's like they analyze everything. So the faster I get things out, then the more my numbers are going to update. And there's always bots, because you'll see that over here where this presentation of your analytics is very small. Like, it's too, it needs to be spread out. Like, I need this box to be larger so I can see more information at one time. But like, here's all the keywords people were using to find work. Here's all the search engine visits, the referrals, things like that. And then this will tell me who looked at what prints, and how many different products they looked at, stuff like that. So obviously my numbers were going up, and then they started to go back down to normal. And then I started having discount codes added to the products. And so that's where you see these spikes, is anytime I had a discount posted on the images, on the photographs. And then once the discount timer was done, like it would be like a holiday sale or something like that. Once that was done, then it would drop back. So people would just show up to see like what's on sale. So, and I also had, let me see where it is, the light boxes. So people would check on what this is, where they could save like your favorites list or something like that. So I think I'm going to have to create one of those for the new site for Shopify, because I don't see that. I have to do a little bit of digging and see if I can create one of these. But the if I have to do something with the HTML code, I have to be a lot more careful, because it's a lot easier to break something on here with the Shopify site. It's a lot easier. So definitely have to be careful with that. But I'm going to go ahead and get to uploading so we can fill all this stuff out, because here is clarity. Where is... Yeah, this is water. Completely empty. And then it's supposed to look like this one, where there's all these images. So I gotta get everything uploaded. So that's all I have. And again, if you guys have any questions about any of this, because I'm learning as I go through it, but I think I have things pretty much figured out in terms of how I want to approach this and what I'm going to do. Like to have all the images available as soon as possible, but again, it's going to take time to really expand the products that are available, just because I have so many photographs to upload. It's just a lot. And then I'm going to have to go through all the other pages and make sure they're updated correctly, because the Shopify site was closed for over a year. So I closed it May 2024, and then I opened it back up on May 2025. So some of this information is outdated. Not a lot of it, but some. And so I'm just looking at so many different things and making sure that everything's current. And I love that beginning image. That first one, it's just perfect intro when you first come on the website. It's just the fireplace, the style of the room. I think the art, is integrated pretty well into the space. Oh, and I have to remember to add that to the product listing. I don't think I did that. Nope, I didn't. See how you have the interior actual print. This one I didn't do it. I forgot about that one. So I will have to go to here and hold on, let me see something. Where did I put the file? I put it under smartest. I don't know why my Mac Mini is doing this. It's not generating the files like it's supposed to. But anyway. So I'm looking for incandescence, and of course I have all these labeled correctly so I can find stuff when I'm looking for it. I want to go with this one. That's really nice. Okay. So I'm going to come over. Where is it? I lost my page. There it is. Is it going to let me do that? No, it's not. It's taking me back to the other ones. I don't know if you guys notice about Apple, but you can create multiple... Well, you can do it on PCs as well. But I'm just saying on Apple, I didn't know. I'm not as familiar with it. But yeah, you can create multiple desktops so you don't have to keep sifting through all your pages. But when you have an app open on one desktop setup and you open it on a different one, it'll take you back to the previous, and that's just annoying. So I would have to close it out and bring it over here. All right, this is not the one that I want. Hold on. I want this one. So I gotta close it there and open it over here. There we go. Why I have to do that, I'm not completely sure, but that's just where we are. And go back to the folder. And yes, this is the one. So I'm just going to drag and drop onto here and let it load in. And then you have to change the order. So I want this to be the first image. And there you go. It says media order saved. And it just saves it automatically. So then when you go back to the image and you reload the page, there it is. You got the interior first. And then you hover over it with the mouse and it shows the actual photograph. So I just think for presentation that works really well. And then of course when you click on it, the interior is going to be the first thing people see. And you just scroll in and you have the rest of the images show up. And obviously you see how they're loading in individually. So you don't want people to be scrolling for too long, and I'm pushing it as it is. But yeah, they'll be able to do that. And then if they don't want to do it that way, they can just enlarge it and go through scrolling or changing from one description to the next this way. So there's that. But yeah, in terms of presentation, it's very good. It's very good. There's more updates that I have to do, especially with this background image. When I update my picture, I have to update this picture here. This one as well. So just a lot of details. And ever so often I have to remember that I have to eat, lunch and dinner and stuff, especially on the weekends. And then I always tell people, if you see something that looks out of place, let me know, because it's easy for me to miss things. But other than that, that's all I have. I think that the WhiteWall app has a lot of potential to it. It works well enough right now, but definitely when they add in the product customization, then I can take out some of those image files, especially like the floater frame, the matte acrylic print. There's different papers, there's different glass types, there's different matting options, frame options. So all of that, if that can be added into the app, that'll be really good. It just makes it easier for creators to add more products, more variation of products, and then also easier for potential clients to purchase online exactly what they want. So there's that. But if you guys have any questions or feedback, just leave that in the comment section, and I try to keep track of that as much as possible. Well, for now, I will see you guys next time. Take care.